Hello, Mr. Suksiri. Please have a seat.
Hey! Just kidding, that's not how I really talk. This is how I really talk. G'day, mate! Just kidding, that's not how I really talk. That's how Russell Crowe talks. Just kidding, sometimes, but not really all the time. Just kidding, he only talks like that in Gladiator. Just kidding, he only talks like that when he is a gladiator. Just kidding, he's not a gladiator. I'm a gladiator. Just kidding, I'm not a gladiator. I'm a Spartan. It's a little better than a gladiator. Just kidding, I'm not even a Spartan. I'm just a normal person. Just kidding, I'm actually a robot. No, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Wow, guys, it's dark in here. Can we get some lights?
Hey, Sam. Dr. Ye has agreed to help me out for your Dawn Rags. Can you sign your Dawn Rags form for me?
Here it is. Just kidding, but I didn't sign it. Just kidding, I did sign it, but with invisible ink. Just kidding, it wasn't invisible ink, it was an invisible pen. Just kidding, it was a real pen and real ink, but I didn't use my real name. Just kidding, it was a fake name, but I go by a different name. Just kidding, that's not my real name. I go by an alias. Just kidding, I only go by an alias when I'm watching the TV show Alias. Just kidding, I also go by an alias when I'm watching Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Sometimes America's Next Top Model. Just kidding, I don't watch America's Next Top Model because it's too shallow. Just kidding, it's the deepest thing I've ever seen. Just kidding, just kidding. Just kidding. Here you go.
Can you please hand Professor Delgado your note?
Right, here's my notebook. Just kidding, this isn't really my notebook. Just kidding, it is, but it's not mine, it's somebody else's. Just kidding, it's mine, but I borrowed it. Just kidding, this is actually an umbrella. Just kidding, that's not an umbrella. This is an umbrella. Just kidding, this isn't an umbrella. It's a Sunday. Just kidding, it's not a Sunday. But I had a Sunday. Just kidding, I didn't eat a Sunday. I haven't eaten anything all day. Just kidding, I ate all week long. I haven't stopped eating until right now. Just kidding, I'm really full. Just kidding, I'm empty. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
So, Sam, the other tutors have told me that you tend to speak an average of 47 minutes and 38 seconds every session. Do you think that's a bit much?
Yes, just kidding, no, I don't think it's too much. Just kidding, I think I should talk the entire time. Just kidding, everyone should have a turn to talk. Just kidding, only me. Just kidding, I don't talk at all during session, I only mime. Just kidding, I don't know mime. Just kidding, I saw a person who did mime, but it was really cool. Just kidding, it was lame, but I was stuck in an elevator, so I didn't have anything else to do. Just kidding, it wasn't an elevator, it was actually a stratoliner. Just kidding, a stratoliner's not real, it's in my imagination. Just kidding, it's outside the window right now. Just kidding, that's actually a dog. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
I've noticed here that one of your pool questions is missing. Can you explain that?
Well, I wrote them, but I just didn't print them out. Just kidding, I printed them out, but I didn't write them. Just kidding, that would be silly, that would just be blank pieces of paper. Just kidding, actually, most of my poll questions are just plain pieces of paper. Just kidding, actually, I wrote all my poll questions on stone tablets. Just kidding, they weren't stone tablets, they were clay tablets. It's different than stone. Just kidding, stone is actually from clay. Just kidding, clay is mushier. Just kidding, I saw some stone that was mushy, but it wasn't actually stone, it was cookie dough. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Sam, are you nervous?
No. Just kidding, I'm very nervous. Just kidding, I'm only a little nervous. Just kidding, I'm not nervous at all. I'm just a little bit bored. I think I'll see what else is on TV. Just kidding, you're not a TV, but you could be. Just kidding, you couldn't be. That would be ridiculous. But my parents could be TVs. Just kidding, they're not parents. They raised me. Just kidding, they didn't actually raise me. They sent me to somebody else who raised me. Just kidding, it was actually my aunt. Just kidding, it wasn't an aunt, it was a rancher. I'm actually raised to be a rancher. Weehaw! Just kidding, that was silly. I'm not really a rancher, but I could be. Just kidding. The only rancher I could be is a Jolly Rancher that I had for lunch. Just kidding, I didn't eat Jolly Ranchers for lunch. I had gummy worms. Just kidding, they weren't gummy worms, they were real worms. But they were okay. Just kidding, they were pretty gross. But I've had better worms before. Just kidding. They were the best worms I've ever had in my life. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Alright. Here's your question. How does Achilles react to fate, and how does that correspond to the geopolitical implications of Odysseus' journey?
And I'd like to think about that in a missiological context.
Well, just as Achilles journeys away from his hometown in order to go on a sort of enlightening quest and return, therefore, with a more attuned vision of the divine eminence to bring back to his original society, so does Moses, on returning to Egypt from Midian, bring a more pristine image of the divine will to his own people.
Just kidding, I didn't even read the Aeneid. Just kidding, I read everything. Just kidding, I can't read, but it's not really that difficult. Just kidding, I can read, but I can only read numbers. Just kidding, numbers aren't even letters. Just kidding, I can read Greek. Just kidding, I can't read Greek. Just kidding, I can read Spanish, but only Spanish and written in Greek. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Well, Sam, I have your paper right here. You know, it's pretty good, but I did notice that you used the word of 5 times. Really? 5?
Actually, I used the word of 50 times. Just kidding. Actually, I used it 1,000 times. Just kidding. I just wrote the word of over and over again. Just kidding. I wrote some other words, but they were just of in other languages. Just kidding. I don't speak any other language. I just wrote of. O-V, period. That was my paper. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, Sam, I'm happy to say it looks like you have an A. Congratulations.
Just kidding.